Resolution number 23-181, in the matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 23-181. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
We can now start our hearing. Resolution number 23-182, public hearing for consideration of the Daventry Park Watershed Drainage Improvement Petition filed by Daventry Park Association.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 23-182. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Sorry. Resolution, oh, no, we're not. I'm in the habit of doing.
We'll do that in a
waving.
minute.
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully.
So Rebecca, you can start? Oh, Gary has a cheat sheet. I'm so sorry.
I'm going to, I guess I was waiting for the second, but we kind of changed the rules on
We
that.
did.
So I had to remind myself of that. I'm going to kind of read the guidelines that we're going to follow today, so everybody's aware of what we're going to accomplish. First of all, welcome to the first hearing for the consideration of the Daventry Park Watershed Drainage Improvement Petition. There's a sign-in sheet circulating the room, and we ask that you please sign the sheet to indicate your attendance. I hope that's gone around.
Yes.
And here's a review of what we're going to be, what's going to occur today. We're going to hear a report from the county engineer and Soil and Water Conservation District, and there's copies available of that report, I believe, outside. Follow the presentation, there will be a time for questions from the board. And after board questions, the board will hear from any interested owners that wish to testify. Those speaking for or against the petition must be either an owner, as defined in section 6131.01 of the revised code, or an attorney speaking on behalf of a owner. And I emphasize that is critical that we follow that guideline. Before accepting testimony for or against the petition, the board will acknowledge receipt of any landowner written testimony before hearing live testimony. Somebody just asked the clerk, do we have any written testimony?
Not
Okay.
this one.
We will first call on those wishing to testify in favor of the petition. We will then call all those wishing to testify in opposition to the petition. And before testifying, you'll be asked to take an oath. And after all those wishing to testify for or against the petition have been heard, there will be an opportunity for responsive or rebuttal testimony. The board will close the public hearing after all testimony and evidence has been presented. And after listening to the testimony and the report of the engineer, the board will decide whether to proceed with the survey and design or to dismiss the petition. Now, these are the important areas that will be a part of our evaluation. Whether the proposed improvement is necessary, whether proposed improvement will be conducive to the public welfare, and whether the cost of the proposed improvements will be less than the benefit the improvement provides. If the board proceeds with the petition, the Delaware County Engineer will prepare plans, reports, and individual schedules of assessment for the project. When plans are complete, a final hearing will be set, notification of the hearing will be given to the landowners, and the board will consider the project. If there are any questions, Commissioner Lewis, do you have at this point?
No?
Then I will ask the representative from Soil and Water to come forward and present the information. And introduce yourself, please.
Morning, Commissioners. I'm Rebecca Longsmith, Resource Conservationist with Delaware Soil and Water Conservation District. I'm going to go ahead and read the report into the record here for the Daventry Park, Section 1, Phases 2, 4, and 5. This report has been prepared for the first hearing on a drainage petition filed by the Daventry Park Association and others on September 6, 2022. The petition was signed by representatives of 19 out of the 63 lots. The general location and course of the requested improvements is stated on the petition as follows. In Delaware County, Liberty Township, within the Daventry Park Section 1, Phase 2, Daventry Park Section 1, Phase 4, and Daventry Park Section 1, Phase 5 subdivision, and generally falling, but not limited to, the course and termini of the existing improvements. This petition specifically asks for to generally improve the drainage, both surface and subsurface, to a good and sufficient outlet by replacing, repairing, or altering the existing improvement as required and/or creating new surface and subsurface drainage mains and laterals as requested by this petition, and to maintain these improvements per the associated engineering plans. The petition process. This petition has been submitted according to Section 6131 of the Ohio Revised Code, which authorizes the county commissioners to act on behalf of benefited property owners to make drainage improvements and maintain those improvements. Should the commissioners decide to proceed with this petition, the existing stormwater drainage system will be evaluated for any deficiencies or immediate maintenance needs. The decision to approve a petition project is a three-step process. First, a viewing of the proposed drainage petition is conducted for the commissioners to familiarize themselves with the site. The commissioners conducted the viewing for this project on December 12, 2022. Next, the preliminary hearing, which is before us this morning, is held to consider the initial feasibility and benefit of the request. If the petition is approved at this preliminary hearing, a final hearing will be conducted to further consider the petition. At that time, final details such as any required repairs or modifications to the existing system and a schedule of assessments to benefited landowners will be available. Existing conditions. The development's infrastructure was constructed between 1996 and 1998. A preliminary review of the existing stormwater management system plans and records has been conducted. As part of this preliminary review, it has been determined that the existing stormwater management system appears to be accurately reflected by the available records. Pending approval at this preliminary hearing, a detailed inventory and evaluation of the existing stormwater drainage system will be conducted. Based on this inventory and evaluation, any necessary repairs and the estimated cost can be calculated. It is important to keep in mind that the stormwater management system is separate from the sanitary sewer system, and this review did not include the sanitary sewer system. This petition and associated information pertains to the stormwater management system only. The current value of infrastructure and drainage maintenance assessment estimate. The current value of the stormwater infrastructure and the share of that value for each of the parcels would be estimated as follows. Estimated current value of the original improvement is $440,898.66. The per lot share of the current value based on 63 lots would be $6,998.39. Note, it is important to understand that the above estimate is preliminary and made in the absence of a detailed investigation of the existing stormwater infrastructure in the Daventry Park subdivision. Should the project fail to be approved at the final hearing, the benefiting landowners, as defined by ORC 6131, may still be responsible for the actual cost of project administration, survey, and design. The annual maintenance assessment per lot is calculated by multiplying the per lot share of the current value by the percentage to be collected. On average, 2 to 5% of the full project value is collected annually. Based on the above estimate, a 3% collection rate would produce a per lot assessment of $209.95. Factors favorable and unfavorable. Section 6131 of the Ohio Revised Code requires the county engineer to state in a report favorable and unfavorable factors to a proposed project, estimate the cost of the project, and state an opinion as to whether the benefits of the project exceed the cost. The following information is presented for your consideration. Factors favorable to the improvement. Number 1, safeguard property values from decline due to poor drainage. Number 2, annual inspection and maintenance of improvement in perpetuity. Number 3, reduction in the liability of individual homeowners and the Civic Association for upkeep and maintenance of the stormwater management system. Factors unfavorable to the improvement. Number 1, cost of maintenance assessment may be a burden to some landowners. And number 2, potential disruption of landscaping and lawn areas during some maintenance and repair activities. Delaware County Engineer's opinion concerning benefits versus cost. It is my opinion, based on the preliminary information gathered, that benefits of the proposed petition request exceed the estimated cost of the drainage maintenance assessment. I also find that the proposed petition is necessary and that it will be conducive to the public welfare. Should this project proceed to a final hearing, detailed plans, specifications, estimated costs, and assessments would be prepared. A comprehensive benefit versus cost analysis will also be performed to determine the feasibility of advancing this proposed project. Prepared by Rebecca Longsmith, Resource Conservationist with Delaware Soil and Water, approved by Chris Bowserman, Delaware County Engineer.
Very well, thank you. Commissioner Lewis, do you have any questions at this point?
I do not.
Nor do I. So we will move forward to the testimony. And we will first, as I mentioned earlier, we will listen to those who are in favor of the project. If you have an interest in speaking, to come forward, introduce yourself, and if possible, provide your lot number. It helps us kind of visualize where you are, and I will swear you in, and you have an opportunity to present your testimony. So with that, is there anyone here who wishing to speak in support of the, please come forward. Give us your name and your address, lot number.
Yes, my name is Fred Leader. My address is 1411 Brittingham Lane, and I believe my lot number is 47.
47?
I think so.
Okay. With that, let me swear you in. Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Proceed.
This morning, we have the three trustees of our three-trustee board for Daventry Park Association present here. I'm one of them. And then we have Steve Kelly and Alan Carter as well in attendance. And from the very beginning, when the board first discussed the issue of our drainage infrastructure, after having noticed a couple of days of rain and what it did to the ability of the infrastructure to handle that amount of rain, we started moving forward with an information program to the members to tell them, remind them, number one, that if there was a failure of this 25-year-old drainage infrastructure, that the individual homeowner would be responsible for it, and that the drainage maintenance program would help to spread those costs throughout the community as everybody had equal responsibility for that drainage maintenance program. I should say that I believe the DMP was made mandatory 2 years after our subdivision was constructed. And so all these years, there have been some discussions by previous board members that perhaps we should consider putting in a petition and joining this program. And only till recently, when the three of us trustees started talking about it, did we commit ourselves to this, because we felt that it was in the best interests of the community, and we would not be doing our jobs if we didn't pursue the DMP.
Okay. Commissioner Lewis, you have any questions?
No questions.
Nor do I have any at this point. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak in support of the petition? Okay, I will ask this, okay. How you doing?
Good.
Your name?
My name's Alan Carter. Address is 8383 Clarington Court, which is lot number 38 in the first phase 2.
You said Alan?
Alan, A-L-A-N, yep.
Alan, if you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Proceed.
Just to kind of echo Fred's thoughts, I'm one of the trustees, but I also live kind of on the downward slope of the neighborhood, and actually there's a main drain that runs right by my property under Clarington Court. So I have a good view of what happens when it rains and the amount of water that we handle. And I'm also a civil engineer, so I have some understanding of the infrastructure in our neighborhood and what it takes to maintain it. And And I was a trustee, or actually I was involved in discussions probably 10 or 15 years ago to move a petition forward, but for whatever reason, it didn't have enough momentum with the neighborhood. But I think this time we've got a consensus, and we've shown the neighbors that there's a value to this and a need for this, given the age of the infrastructure. So I'm definitely in favor of this moving forward.
Thank you. Alan. Any questions, Ms. Lewis?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in support of the petition? Okay. One more time, anyone would like to speak in support? If not, is there anyone here who would like to speak in opposition to the petition? Is there anyone here who would like to speak in opposition to the petition? Okay. With that, I think I have enough information. I support closing the hearing.
Yes.
Resolution number 23-183, in the matter of closing in the matter of closing the public hearing for consideration of the Daventry Park Watershed Drainage Improvement Petition filed by Daventry Park Association.
So move.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 23-183. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
And I would ask the clerk, please, to read the motion proceeding with the project survey and design for the Daventry Park watershed.
Resolution number 23-184, and the matter proceeding with the project survey and design for the Daventry Watershed Drainage Improvement Petition, petitioned by the Daventry Park Association.
So move.
Second, discussion, I will comment, the criteria that we use to make our decision to move forward is basically, as I alluded to earlier, whether proposed improvement is necessary, whether proposed improvement will be conducive to the public welfare, and whether the cost of the proposed improvement will be less than the benefits. Based on the testimony I heard today and the lack of opposition, I believe it meets that criteria, and I will support the petition.
And I agree with Commissioner Merrill
Okay.
in his comments.
With that, call for the vote.
Vote on motion 23-184. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye. Okay. With that, we have another hearing at 11 o'clock. So we are in recess until 11 o'clock.